Welcome back to episode 9 of General Archibald's boot camp of Fire Emblem event hacking. Now, my last video was on conditions, and if you made it through that video without dying, or your soul being crushed, or stuff to that effect, then you deserve my respect. And I will no longer refer to you as maggot or termite. If you're doing conditions, you are now a colleague. Congratulations to you. So for this video, this is going to be kind of like a recap. Now, when I was learning events, I remember that how I learned things was just by dissecting events that Nintendo wrote. And these are the events for Fire Emblem 4 Advance's prologue. And this was really helpful for my learning. So, in this episode, I'm going to dissect these events with you. So let's get started. We have our pointers here. Turn events, character events, location events, miscellaneous events, ballista filler. Then our 4 things. That's wrong, actually. That should be allies and that should be enemies. But, there we go. Alright. This is the offset where the data is written, specified by the ORG code. And like I said, I like to start my events at D80000. That's kind of because that's where Nintendo taught me to start things. Here we have include FE4A definitions.txt. That is, I showed you how to do that. That's a definitions file. And then, okay, so let's scroll down and check some things out, alright? So, let's start with the turn events. So, end of turn 1 is the event where, okay, I hope you played FE4's prologue before, because you're going to need it. If not, there's a patch to the demo that has this prologue and a link to the events, so you can dissect them and see what they do on your own. Okay, let's see. End of turn 1. Okay, Muse 1, 0x0C, that changes the music, obviously. Cam 1 shifts the camera to Gandalf. Text 1 displays text value 0817 in Feditor. So, let's take a look at that. Just a quick little recap on text editing. Where is my FE4A ROM? There it is. 0817. Then there's Gandalf, 0x8C. Let's see. His portrait. Okay, so that's definitely the right conversation. 0817. What's taking you more so long to take this dinky castle? I'll take it myself. Alright, so that displays the text. Rima gets rid of the portraits, the bubbles, and backgrounds. CURF, that does the cursor flash on 0x0D, which is mitter in this case. Now, fight is something I'll go over in a video on its own, because fight sequences can be rather complicated. And that'll probably be episode 10, actually. That initiates a fight between Gandalf and Mitter. Gandalf is the first attacker. And then there's the pointer to the fight code. Now, after the fight, Mitter is killed. And so that's kill 0x0D. Now, UNCR. And, hold on, I have a note here somewhere. UNCM, I'll go over that really quick. So, UNCM, parameter 1 is the character, and this is the condition to afflict. Now, there's a list of conditions in the event tutorial that's written, but 0x02, which I'm using for Gandalf, is making the unit gray out. Now, UNCR reverses the condition, so after the fight, Gandalf is automatically made to turn gray, so this makes him turn red again and able to move. Move moves Gandalf. And don't forget, you can add the parameter, the third parameter, 0x01, which makes the unit move super slow. Now, enone, if you'll recall, is used for after you use a move code or a lu1 code. Alright, then we fade in for some more text. Fade in, background is the castle, and then fade out, and then the text will show up. Text 1 ID 0818. Then we move Gandalf. Again, lu1 Edain. And Dissa Edain. And then UNCM, we inflict the condition of Gandalf having rescued a unit. And so Edain disappears, so she is rescued by Gandalf, which actually isn't being rescued, it's being kidnapped, but same concept, sorta. Okay, and then, so skipping over, because that's all stuff we know, but MAC1 is forcing a tile change to occur. So there we have 0x0, which says make the tile change happen, and this is the tile change ID, which is found in the tile change file. So there we have it, and then let's find the other MAC one just to show. That's interesting. Oh yeah, because I didn't do the undo. Alright. Alrighty, so why don't we... Okay, here's something. If event, for condition review, if event, condition ID 01, and then if event ID 05 is triggered. What is event ID 05? Let's find out. 05 is seizing Jungbi. So that Gandalf action is a turn code that will happen only once thanks to the condition, and well, actually it'll happen only once thanks to giving the turn an ID. So, but it will happen on turns 1 through 99 on the enemy phase. So let's see, Gerard action is alright, so if event 05 is triggered, so if Jungbi is seized, this will happen and he'll load his enemies and a tile change will occur to put the bridge back so you can cross back over. Now, that's end if for that. Then else 0x09 and enif 0x09. So what is this code? Enut is forcing an event ID to count as not triggered. So that doesn't happen in this, and that makes the event only happen once. So if the condition is not active, it just tells the game to keep checking the event over and over again until the condition is activated. Now, let's see, that is fine. Okay, so there's Albus giving Sigurd his silver sword. Then we have the village. Village number 1. So Fatty, background 0x02, Fadu. And then text 1 to display text. Rima to get rid of the text after the text is done. Then ITGV gives the agility ring to the current character. ITGV, if you'll recall, is one of the 3 item give codes. ITGV is used for villages, hence the V. The ITGC is, let's see if I can find an instance of that. I'm sure there is one. ITGC. Alright, so that gives an item to a specified character. The first parameter is Azel. This is the Azel and Sigurd conversation. And ITGC gives Azel Thunder if the conversation happens. Now, this is actually something I'd like to go over. Hold on. So, check out Lex and Sigurd and Azel and Sigurd. Now, the one thing they have in common is they both have the same event ID. So, if you have Lex talk to Sigurd, you can't have Azel talk to Sigurd. And vice versa. So, that's a convenient thing. And then if you have it so that the conversation can be initiated by either character, then you make it both the same event ID as well. Now, what else is there to go over? We have the village codes, their event IDs, the C's code. Alright, I don't think I explicitly showed that, but on the tile that is marked X coordinate 20, Y coordinate 23, the main character, when they step on it, will have the C's option. The C's option, when selected, will trigger the Jung BC's event. Now, for FE4A, there are two incarnations of the C's macro. One with an event ID, and one where you can just say, screw it, and the game will just read the ending event automatically. For FE4A, since there are multiple castles in each map, I have to use this one and specify which event to trigger. Also, remember that you can use the double slash mark to put comments, and it helps with remembering exactly what is what. I used that before we had the handy naming system. You know, there was once a time where these macros, where you couldn't name things. You had to refer to it by the line number it was on. And God, that makes me feel so old. Alright. Cause game over if Lord dies. That's pretty self-explanatory. We like the game to not progress if Sigurd is dead. And then... Alright, so then let's just take a look at our unit. We have unit character ID is mitter, which is defined in the FE4A definitions file. 0x2f is his class, that's Bow Knight in the game. And then his leader is Sigurd. His level is not in a macro form, but he is level 4 ally false. Then we have his coordinates that he starts on the map. And then as he's loaded, he'll move to these coordinates. Now, if we wanted the coordinates to be the same, we just make them the same, and then mitter wouldn't move when he's loaded. Then we have the item inventory. You can have up to 4 things here, not a 5th one, because despite the fact that there's a 5th inventory slot, you can't do it through events. And then his AI. So, the AI codes can be found in Nightmare, by the way, in case you were wondering. I don't think I mentioned that before. But there we have it. I went over the points, I went over a couple events with you. These events will be downloadable. In the file description, there's a patch that you can play the chapter with. And I hope this was a good recap for you. Oh yeah, Code 3D, by the way, is CMOF. See, these events are a little outdated because I haven't really been working on FE4A lately. So I think we're going to call that an episode. So good day and good luck to you all. Hope you learned something.